You are live. I am still finding out about a protest, please.
Okay. Video and audio check, please. Jeff and David, welcome.
Everybody hearing us and seeing us okay?
It takes a little while to get a response. Everything look good on your end, little one?
Yeah.
Need an audio and video check.
Everything's working over here.
Okay, there you go. Alrighty. So it just takes almost like a minute, seems like.
I mean, it does seem like it's forever. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Pat.
Hi, David.
I hear Queensland is a bit wet right now, Patrick. Goodness gracious. How about 1.3 meters in 24 hours, little one?
Yo, that's pretty bad.
That's some serious rain. So, yeah, they're having a rough time over there. We're 8 days away from Eva's surgery. Again, we're not terribly concerned with anything but the trip and how that interacts. However, there was something that has potentially made things a little bit easier. A gentleman which I've apparently had some contact with in the past, although I don't recall, but that is not unusual for me. But anyhow, he's apparently has a home in Billings that is currently unoccupied because they're on an extended family visit. And he offered it to us to stay in while Eva gets her surgery and stuff. So it'll not only save us some money, but it will also allow us to stay another day or two if needed for Eva's recovery before heading back without it adding any cost to anything. So that's very, very helpful. Thank you very much, Eric. So, it's how much in your shed? 36. I guess that's the temperature, 36°C. Yeah, that's pretty warm. Yeah, things come back. He's also got some mining stuff down in near Virginia City in southern Montana here. Maybe interesting. Sounds like some possibilities there. Right now I'm a little bit jealous because his family lives about 36 miles from Cape Canaveral. So he actually gets to watch the Falcon 9's launch and stuff. Like, he says it's pretty cool. So yeah, that would be nice. We got Brian. Hey, Brian. Well, right now it's right around 0. I'm not sure if it's positive or negative right now, but it should be pretty close to 0 at the moment. So it's kind of cold. It's been snowing. Let me see if it's snowing right now. Yep, still just a light snow, what I call a snizzle, a snow drizzle. And so the conditions are suboptimal for travel right now, but we got a week for things to calm down. And the long-term forecast looks reasonable. So we shall see what we shall see. I'm wondering if anyone, I posted a video today and I tried to add it to the playlist.
Brian Smith said he saw the new video. It was cool.
if somebody's got the capability on a tab of looking up my channel and seeing if my playlist down there, if it's got that new video on the end, I would appreciate it, because while it seems to have tagged as such
Mr.
here,
Virtue says, good evening, Keith and Eva. Jeff says Utah hit 65 today with the low 15 degrees higher than the average high.
yeah.
Brian says he saw it.
And so I'm wondering, it seems like it didn't add to the playlist when I'm looking at the playlist, but it's tagged as being on the playlist. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Do you know, is there a limit of how many videos you can have on a playlist? I don't think there is, but I don't know. But I want to put like another, at least half a dozen videos on that playlist before switching over to milling. So I was wondering on that. And another question I have is there an easy way to make a YouTube short from a video I've already got loaded on YouTube, and then have a link to the video I've got on YouTube using my desktop? Because apparently these shorts are kind of optimized for smartass phones.
Mr. Virtue says no limit, Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Virtue. I didn't think so. I'm wondering what's going on. It may just take time to, process or something. I really don't know. I may have to unlink it and then relink it again or something, but I'll check on that. But what I wanted to do was on my How to Find Your Own Gold Mine playlist, was to go to How to Find Load Gold Deposits, take a little clip out of there that, where I'm looking out over the valley and saying everything from here to there is going to run right through that spot there, blah, blah, blah. Make a short out of that and then do a link. Hello, Shane. And then link it to that video, and theoretically, it would potentially direct people there. But it seems, again, that YouTube has not optimized this for working from a desktop. Was it worth it, Brian? Sounds like a lot of work. But yeah. So does anyone know if it's relatively straightforward to take a video you got on YouTube? It's been uploaded for years. Edit a short out of it. Post the short as a short. And then have a link in the short to link you back to the original video.
Brian says yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
He just spent all weekend putting one of his videos on every one of his videos on a spreadsheet.
Yeah. I can't find an instructional video on how to do that, Brian. It's pretty frustrating, because it would seem to be a fairly simple thing that they would have thought of, but I don't see any place where it's like, yeah, I'd love to do it if I could figure out how to do it, David, but I can't find any instructions on how to do it anywhere. Everything seems to give instructions on how to use your smartphone, or how to. Thank you, Brian. I say it's kind of frustrating when you got something fairly straightforward to do, you would think, and you can't find any instructions anywhere on how to do it. Really bizarre. But that's my idea. again, I'm trying to create this playlist for people so they can look at that and get a good idea. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I have permission now to do some videos where I walk the viewer through the process I use to locate two mines. And
Brian says it's really easy. He will send a picture.
and so I'm going to walk through the research methodology I used to decide that that was a target. And then we took field trips there and actually staked them. And those videos I can then put on the playlist and stuff. But that way, people who haven't done this kind of research or whatever will at least have some sort of example on how to use the various online resources and stuff to get some idea of what the heck's going on.
Kodak says, hey, y'all been cooking lots of chips in the new melt oven and seeing gold.
Excellent.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah. Did I mention we're going to have a visitor around 1st of April? That
I don't think
I don't think so.
I don't think you mentioned it.
Yeah, there's also a gentleman that's planning on swinging through here around the 1st of April, coming from Washington State, visiting someone nearby to look at his properties. This guy, is person he's visiting is looking for some help on his property, so there might be some opportunities there. But the person who's making the trip purchased a couple of kilns in a estate sale and only needs one, so he wants to drop one off here for us. So, well, it says look under Google Apps. Now, that would be on a smartphone, wouldn't it, Mr. Virtue? I'm saying from a desktop.
Yeah, the thing is, guys, for everybody trying to help him with this, all the instructions we have found to make shorts are designed for one of these.
Yeah.
We do not want to have to use my smartphone to do this, because then he won't be able to do it. I will have to do it, and then he will be bitchy and pissy with me all the time, and I will be very annoyed. We need to be able to do this on a desktop, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't think we can install apps on a desktop, even though it's got like Windows 11 or some such shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, just so everybody knows, if you happen to be in your state capital on Wednesday, 50 states, 50 protests, one day. The psychotic left is protesting the implementation of Project 2025. Yeah, you can all stop laughing now. They actually believe this. They also believe that a coup is underway in Washington, D.C., because Chucky Schumer and Elizabeth Warren have told them so.
Well, Elon Musk is taking over the government.
Shit's getting weird. But anyway, yeah, in Helena, it's going to be at noon on Wednesday. They're advertising the rules for how to avoid getting murdered by the police when you protest legally.
So, it's getting interesting.
Well, they're crazy. What can I say?
Unfortunately, apparently, Trump has kind of short-circuited BRICS coming up with a gold-backed currency, so that's not going to skyrocket the price of gold soon, unfortunately. But yeah, life's getting interesting out there. And there was a video I saw. It was on Sky News Australia, and it was a video of, I believe it was the DNC, where they were voting for new officers and such. And it was the most hilarious thing. I honestly thought you couldn't have done better if it was a Saturday Night Live skit.
Patrick says I got as dumb as the day is long Samsung A5. It gets the shakes when I make a call. It's all very smoothie coochie. Smoochy coochie.
We were
Cooed it a long time ago. Maybe he had a chance to get it back. Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Well, see, they don't see it that way, okay? These people have gone nuts.
Yeah.
And I mean, seriously, the narrative they're pushing is upsetting a whole lot of folk. Mr. Virtue, no, he's not going to, but the shorts he wants to make is he wants to edit some little portions out of existing videos and and put them together and put them into a 60-second short, not make a new one.
Well,
I
just want to take 60 seconds out of an existing video I already have on YouTube. It's been there for 9 years. And make a short out of it and then link it to the original video. That's all I want to do.
And as to doing them during the summer, I'm going to be getting an Instagram account and setting it up for him. And I will be taking videos on this of such things if something interesting happens.
I know it can be done, but it's kind of like, well, let's see. First you take the original, then you make a copy of it, then you digitize it, then you do that instead of taking a pair of scissors and just cutting it out. It's like, it seems to be extremely complicated to do once it's already uploaded, unless you use a smartphone. And there's also kind of like reformatting, because that shorts thing is that narrow video field, But anyhow, and so I say that's what I don't carry the desktop with me. I carry a video camera. Gee, I know it's an old concept.
Yeah, that's
to actually take a video camera to take videos.
That is the other reason that we want to be able to make shorts on a laptop, because there may be times when I'm doing the videoing with the camera and I see something that would make a good short.
Yeah, I say it's just one of those things that I know that smartphones can do all kinds of shit. The problem is they can do about 20,000 things, and I only want one thing. Just take a video. So I say, I was wondering if there's an easy way to do it on a desktop, because I'm sure we can figure out a kludgy way to do 156 different operations and get there. But for example, on her smartphone, we would have to log her into my account on, because it's not automatically logged in and stuff. Getting messages probably from someone. Let's see what we got.
If you're trying to send them pictures,
Brian
please
Smith.
send them to the email.
Yeah, there's Brian sent me something. I think that's an exclamatory. Yep. But anyhow.
Jeff Kablock says, I do. Laugh out loud.
Yeah.
And I think, Jeff is probably saying he brings a desktop with him.
Yeah. I say, this is the sort of thing that, to me, a video camera, it's a one-purpose tool. It's designed for that. It doesn't have 256 bells and whistles. Well, even the video cameras do, but at least it's...
Shane says, easy way to do it on a smartphone. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Now, he has a possibility here. Well, the problem we're having, Shane, is even if I send a 1-minute clip from my smartphone to his computer, which I do know how to do, YouTube won't let you upload it as a short. They'll upload it as a 1-minute video, not something that is coded as a short.
Well,
Harry says YouTube will automatically make it a short if you make it a 1920 vertical by 1080 horizontal.
There's an app for that. I'm not joking. The problem is
that for
the original is sitting on YouTube right now. Now, I may have another copy of the original on one of these backup hard drives. I'm not sure. What seems plausible, there's a reasonable possibility of it. Okay? So I might be able to take a video file from there and reformat it according to something or other using a thing. And that, as I say, it's just kind of frustrating that, okay, if you start from YouTube, which is, they came up with something new, shorts. Okay, so, and I've seen other people where they've linked it to videos and this and that and the other. It's like there should be a simple way to do that. It could be. I'm not sure, Kodak. That's why I was asking you guys, because again, it's just they want you to do shorts, but they don't make it easy to turn your existing stuff into shorts, huh? And yet there's lots of stuff I see where they do have shorts linking to regular videos. I presume it could be that most of those are there uploading them both recently or something.
Brian says informative as to what videos need what fixes. A giant game of red light, green light. Kodak says maybe if you call it clip, seems to be what a lot of long form podcasts do, and then call it a clip.
But and again, that may be just fine. I don't know enough about this, but does a clip get the same exposure as a short?
Well, this is one of the reasons I'm going to be starting an Instagram account for you. And Mr. Virtue says cut and paste somewhere.
Yeah, I say I'll have to.
Hi, John.
See if I can actually cut it from something, because it seemed like last time I tried to download a video to my computer from YouTube, it couldn't figure out how to do it. Although I've downloaded some from YouTube to hard drives over there in years past. So again, it may be that they keep changing the methodology.
Yeah, Harry says you download the original and then edit it into a short format, 1080 horizontal by 1920 vertical, less than 1 minute. It must be and only be that format to be a short. Yeah. So in other words, the format itself is basically smartphone shaped format.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, this is one of the reasons that I'm going to be getting him an Instagram account and and using my phone. I'll have to manage that one because smartphones do not accept his fingers. He can't operate a smartphone.
Yeah.
His
skin's too thick. The capacitance is wrong or something. Yep. No, I agree.
Says hard rock mining, prospecting, backpack carry, gold can, eye loop, metal detector, mag laptop, and drone.
Now see, the drone is really cool.
Yeah, the drone is excellent.
Yep. Oh, looking forward to seeing you when you get here, Jeff. You got, what now? Still 3 or 4 months, isn't it? Goodness. Yeah, I say that may be true. That's why I was researching it to try and figure it out. And Placer Gold Cube. Yeah, Gold Cube does a pretty good job.
See, Brian says you might be only 1 second away from a hit video and the spreadsheet will show it. Every metric has a specific fix. That's cool, Brian.
Yeah. I say this is...
And Jeff says, yeah, buddy, 5 to go.
Yeah. Oh, I also went to my orthopedist last week, and I will probably be getting a knee replacement next fall after the season. Right knee's pretty well wore out. And, the Gold Cube with the trommel, yeah, that's not a bad setup for small, flaky gold. It seems to really work well on the flaky gold, You can teach, it's real easy to teach an old folk like me a new trick. You get somebody who knows what they're doing, set them down in front of me, have them do it a few times while explaining it, and then let me do it a few times, and voila, I've got it. The problem is, I need to have somebody who knows what they're doing sitting down in front of me. I may have to have, well, we might talk to Ryan and see if he wants to remote it. I've seen that where he actually logs onto my computer by remote and runs it from across the country.
Jeff says he got 43 ounces in 7 weeks with it. Whoa.
That's pretty good for a gold cube.
Well, I think he says with a trommel.
Well, he said placer gold cube
with trommel.
And there's a trommel attachment to a gold cube.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see that in use.
Well, if that's small enough, you could use it. You know? Dumpster fire, I like the name. But anyhow.
Hi, dumpster fire.
I'll figure it out. But
Mr. Virtue says something about library and cell phone stores. Yeah.
Could be. As I say, I don't know. Well, we'll see. Let's say I know her son probably knows how to do it. I'm sure there's somebody we know who knows how to do it that we can figure it out. But that's why I just thought I'd ask everybody here, because you know a lot more than I do about this stuff. The cumulative knowledge of the group is pretty good compared to me.
Patrick, Jeff says hi bank too, and Patrick says it's like city slickers. Even the cows know how to set the timer on the VCR. And Jeff says this year we're putting in the keen dredge. Well, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Harry Smith says I figured out multi-language transcripts. No thanks to YouTube. Just had to sit down and experiment with it. Jeff says a 3-inch.
Yeah. Well, that's it moves a lot of stuff as long as you sort out the rocks. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have to find my wetsuit, huh? But yeah, I'll figure it out within the next couple of weeks. I was thinking it would probably make sense to get those other videos done first anyway, because the how to find your own hard rock gold mine as the tag might bring a lot of people to the short, and then that'll get them on the thing. And I'd like to have the whole playlist done first, you know.
Gold cube runs 1 ton an hour dredge and do 3. Brian says click-through rate is only controlled by the thumb and should be over 6%.
Say, gold cube 1 ton an hour. Is that bank run and then screened before it hits the gold cube, so to speak? I mean, because it's got the trommel on it. So you can put 1 ton per hour into the trommel.
Mr. Virtue says check Google Help. We're not gonna go there. Hey, Harry says YouTube does have bugs you may run up against from time. Oh yeah, you could say that.
That might be what happened today when I posted. It might also have been that I hadn't given it a long enough time to get fully locked into their system before trying to put it on the playlist. Don't know. Dredge does 3. Yeah, I was helping with a 6-inch dredge on the Boise, and I was chucking a lot of rocks. But you know, cobbles, you can chuck a cobble a pretty good distance, get it the heck out of the way. It worked pretty well. And if you chuck them downstream, you can build up kind of a shallow weir that, you know, gives you more depth if you need it for the dredge too. Another thing that can help with is to cut your current down. So you got a hole in front of the weir, and the current strength goes way down.
And
right
U.S.
there.
Intel craft are now in Mexican airspace. Just so you know.
So I enjoyed it.
Just so you know. The United States Air Force has officially entered Mexican airspace. High outdoor addictions.
It'll probably work if you let me borrow 5. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't have it, but yeah, I like.
Yeah, Mr.
Like your
Baker says
audacity.
building a website needs development.
Yeah.
Brian says impressions is only controlled by the title and description. If not over 1,000 impressions in the first 24 hours, you have a bad title or description.
Could be.
Yeah. Well, of course you don't need to go to a gym if you mine gold the way we do.
It's good exercise, Pat. I agree.
Yeah, just in case anybody's interested.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. Okay.
My Proline 3 is rated a little higher than the Keen.
Well, it depends a lot on the actual material, too. How many columns
Kodak says he can't throw. Bad shoulder. He'll have to try chucking.
Yeah. I say, it was, I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Outdoor Addiction says, just messing. Good day, pal.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Audacity.
Well, let me put it this way. We'd love to have somebody give us a truck. That would be great.
Well, if they gave us the $5K to lend to you, you see, that would be cool.
Well, you know, I mean, who knows? We're a huge YouTube channel. Maybe we could get a discount on like
I'm an internationally famous YouTube celebrity.
Yeah, and you've been on Gold, and you've been on Dave Torrens' Backyard Gold, and you've written articles for CNBA. So maybe we could go down to Lithia and they could give you a free pickup truck.
Sure.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Brian says if after 30 seconds you still have 50% of your audience, you're doing okay.
Okay. Cool. What are we at right now, little one? 21? Is that what I see over there?
21 concurrent views, 70 total views, and a slow chat rate.
Yeah. But, as I say, we got some interesting stuff going on this summer, and we'll see how it all shakes out. But we got a ways to get through. We got to get Eva's surgery next week. That's the thing I'm focusing on. Right now, I'm still playing with the water system here to try and make it indifferent to temperature. What's the temperature right now? Any idea?
It's -2.
-2 degrees.
I'm trying to talk to people about important shit.
No problem. Let's see. Am I the only one going bonkers? Yeah, I'm getting pretty fidgety, Shane. Yeah, I told Lauren the other day, I'm getting pretty fidgety, and unfortunately, he's got a lot of stuff to do at his shop, but he's waiting on parts to show up. So he's been working on organizing his shop and stuff, and that's something that, in many cases, an extra pair of hands doesn't help very much. Harry says, good luck with your procedure, little one.
Thank you.
It should be pretty routine. Okay? It's not something with a high risk factor or a high criticality like her cancer surgery was. And so not terribly worried about that. The weather's more of a concern in many ways than the surgery itself. That's why it's nice that this guy is allowing us to use his house, because depending on how fast she recovers, we won't be in a hurry to come back unless there's a good reason. Because, theoretically,
it is pretty darn cold here right now. It's -2. Ryan says for a video 7 to 15 minutes long, you want 30% seat off. Yeah.
Okay.
That's about what I would figure.
Yeah.
I'm looking at increasing comment engagement. I want him to start trying to get more people to comment on his videos as well.
Trying to tempt people.
Yeah. And I want to I want to start tweaking your tags on each video so that they fit the video, not just your generic tags.
Yeah. Well, I want to take a look at these ones I put on the playlist and verify all the tags. Also the new ones that I'm posting. And see what kind of tags they're getting and stuff. Go from there. So where are you at, Shane? Mr. Virtue says, God bless you, Eva. Three steak knives. Steak knives matter, huh? So, say, that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now between working on the house or the double wide here, and I got a little cleaning to do over there at the motel. I had somebody move, so I got a room to turn, that sort of thing. Huh. Pretty cool, Brian. Yeah, I can understand that, Shane. This mine that we're looking to sell that I'll be posting the videos on, it had like 30 ounces to the ton silver and about 1/10 of an ounce gold. There's one guy that we're supposed to meet up with this summer that says he's got 600 ounces to the ton silver, which could be pretty interesting.
Well, you know, Shane, I wouldn't mind crushing up some 3 ounces of the ton silver just to do something. Just saying. The goddess loves silver.
Yeah, it's just hard to process when water is solid.
Jeff says, I saw doormats at Home Depot today and started running my hand over it, thinking how it would work as a sluice media.
Yeah?
Yeah, we've done that before. Well, you saw his you saw his mud flap with the channels of silicone.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of
That
things.
works great, by the way.
Yeah, the
Just so everybody
sawtooth
knows.
mat was out of silicone. Worked pretty good.
Out of silicone caulking.
Yeah. But I say it's a little bit frustrating at times, but I got stuff to keep me busy enough, so shouldn't be too bad. I may have to head out to Lawrence a couple times this week just to just to keep from going crazy, or I may go fishing. I don't know. If the weather turns good, I may go out and dip a line below one of the dams and see what happens.
Shane says 30 miles south of Aberdeen, South Dakota, a little town on the Jim River called Ashton. And Brian says, any luck on a shredder? Not yet. We have to go shopping tomorrow.
Yeah, let me write that down here. That's on the list here. Yeah, we've been waiting for the Social Security check to show up. Yeah, for the Brian, for the X-ray film that we want to process, and so that's kind of the hang up right now. Is that shredder that we're using? It's an old one and it's kind of damaged and it doesn't work real well. So we're looking. It was a used one at the thrift store for, what was it, $9, $8, something like that.
$8, and I would like to get another used one over at Samaritan for $6 or $8.
Yeah.
Thinking a dream mat may do good with chips ash.
Could be the dream mat, or we used VDR, but it's very similar to a dream mat in many ways, and it's doing pretty good on our stuff.
Pool packs will make bleach, yeah. They do. I made some silicone mats using the underwater with Dawn soap method. I think you add cornstarch.
I'm not sure about the cornstarch. I don't recall that part. I remember.
Shane says, I run Dream Mat, also Gold Hog, add carpet expanded ripples and miner's moss, Kodak. And Brian says bleach strips silver as fast as nitric. Well, that still leaves you with silver chloride, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it would leave silver chloride, though.
Yeah.
Which then you'd have to either convert or smelt. I don't like direct smelting silver chloride. The losses seem to be pretty high. But
I don't like dealing with silver chloride anyway because it is volatile.
yeah, it's not easy to do.
When we can get to elemental, get to elemental.
Yeah. Well, I say first we got to shred the film, and then we got a number of different possibilities on how to get it off of that. Yeah, exactly, Brian. So then we'll have to either accept the losses of the volatilization or else convert the silver chloride to silver metal. I think there's something with sugar that works on that conversion. Street Chips has got something like that.
We tried the sugar thing once and got that beautiful silver coating on the inside of the beaker. It does work. Well, I'll have to look up the video again.
Smells under a soda cover, huh? Okay. So there may be simple ways of doing it. I want to do narrow mat with PVC rain gutter.
Jane says that and galena ore are super hard.
Okay. That VDR mat seems to work pretty well. The sawtooth mat out of silicone works pretty well on our stuff. Although I must admit that the output of my impact mill, because it tends to ball up the gold, is pretty effective. You know, BRD. Is that the Vortex drop riffle mat? I think that's electronic chip ash, Jeff. Yeah, the Devon Gold VDR seemed to do a pretty good job with our particular material. I'm pretty happy with it.
So the governor of New Jersey is talking on camera about how he's harboring an illegal alien in his mansion and daring ICE agents to come get her.
Oh, really?
And encouraging others to do the same.
Well, could get interesting in the next week or two, folks. Could get interesting indeed. But, yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. But focusing a little bit on the YouTube channel right now because I can. I'm going to need to do a little bit of stuff around the house here. Then it's going to be Eva's surgery, and then I'm going to be around the house. That's, again, more of the X-ray film slash...
Wade Slade says, my adventure made lead filings to use as an intermediate for panning gold, heavier than magnetic, then compel the lead. Is this witchcraft?
Not generally, no. Panning gold heavier than magnet. Well, if it was magnetite, I'd just magnetically remove it. That's pretty simple.
No, apparently he's using the lead somehow to use as an intermediate.
It's denser than the magnetite, so that the magnetite floats on top, is my guess.
And then the gold somehow gets together with the lead.
Yeah. And as I say, you wind up floating off the magnetite. It's basically called heavy media separation.
Brian says it's alchemy. Very good. Totally alchemy.
It's physics, man. It's physics.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the impact mills. It does tend to ball stuff up, which makes it easy to separate. Absolutely. Oh, haven't heard anything. Lars seems to be doing okay from his emails and such. I appreciate all the help you've sent his way. I don't see him tonight, but last I heard, the report was reasonably favorable. We shall see. Okay. So, anyhow, and electrons, huh? There's all kinds of interesting games you can play. For example, I presume that if you were to heat the lead where it was a liquid in an inert atmosphere, you could probably use it just like mercury. I would think it would work quite similar. Let's see, if you were to take a copper sheet and cover it with, tin it with solder, and then run dry concentrates across it, it might work pretty well. If you had hot, dry concentrates.
Well, we could.
Anyone want to play that game? Just try.
Yeah, Wave Slave says, fun!
Yeah. If you just take a tinned plate, tin sheet at a high enough temperature, which wouldn't be much with some of the low temperature solders, and then put a dry concentrate across it, it might be interesting. Oh my goodness. There's so many possibilities. The thing is, you're always trying to head for an optimization that's simple and cheap and doesn't get complicated on you. You're not burning up a lot of reagents or whatever. Let's see, anything else? Can't really. Liquid aluminum. Well, first of all, aluminum it'd have to be a lot hotter than a solder. So that would make the thing kind of complicated. I don't know how well aluminum bonds to gold. I know aluminum isn't the stickiest metal when it's melted when it comes to other metals. I don't know how sticky it is, but I know, for example, you can't really melt it onto steel. It doesn't. You can explosively bond it, but I haven't heard of anyone essentially heating it and forging it to steel. Now, that may be because the oxidation. That aluminum oxidizes near instantly. So that might be the problem. I really don't know. And there's lots of possibilities. I know there's other metals that liquefy at low temperatures, like gallium. I have no idea how well that might or might not work, or not even sure how toxic it is. I mean, it's not something that is used very much. It's used some in electronics, gallium, indium arsenide and stuff. There's zinc wheel weights that float on molten lead. Yeah. Huh. Okay.
That's why you need AC voltage to weld aluminum.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I know that.
Yeah, gold will bond to aluminum, but it's very brittle. Purple gold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I say there's a lot of knowledge out there, but it's not in my head, unfortunately. No. Let's see. What else is going on in the world? It does seem that the situation in the United States is not calming down. Okay. What you might call the left is getting its feet under it to some extent and pushing back against Trump. Hello, Chris. How's it going? And so we'll see how that works. It seems to me like Trump is trying to do kind of the equivalent of a full court press. You just keep pushing everywhere as fast as you can, as hard as you can to keep the other team off balance. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. But we do have that 50 protests. Is it 50 capitals or 50 cities?
50 states, 50 capitals, one day.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
So be careful if you're anywhere near your state capital on Wednesday.
Folks are coordinating this through the Meetup app and also in the state capital subreddits on Reddit. There are a few private groups popping up on Facebook too. And yeah, the deep state is screwed. The problem is the deep state right now is convincing the psychotic left that they need to go out and fight because a coup is happening.
Yeah. Well, the deep state is in danger. And it's too early to tell whether they're screwed or not, but they can certainly tell they're in danger, and they're fighting hard to mitigate that danger. Whether or not they can, I don't know. Tomorrow, we have a lot of votes. I think RFK Jr., Kash Patel, and Tulsi Gabbard come up for votes tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Kodak says, when AC is going back to the electrode during the cycle, it's a cleaning effect of moving oxidation. Aluminum melts about 1600, the oxide melts about 3700. Okay.
Huh. Interesting.
And mixing gold and aluminum does take a precise ratio to make it work. It does, Harry. I have looked at it. Believe me, I thought about making purple gold. I looked at that for about half a minute because I happen to love it. I also love pink gold, green gold, etc. Haas Do Zero says you represent the deep state. No.
I don't think I do.
Dude, neither one of us likes the deep state, okay? Don't be an idiot.
We tend to be pretty much libertarian. We will probably be rebuilding the small kiln sometime this winter too. Should be around $150 in materials. Thank you guys for the help. I'm looking for refractories. There's that refractory insulating fire brick that looks like it might work pretty well. And we'll have to see exactly
Chris
what
Saucier says, don't
consistency
forget
is.
their numbers are fictitious. They rely on dumbasses. Well, part of the problem is half of the people that they're relying on are psychotic. The psychotics are dangerous. And John Favorite
No.
wants to know, when you complete your leach, do you change the pH before you... No, we don't.
Not at all. You just run it through the resin grabs the gold, then
We
you
never change
add a
the
little more Eco
pH
Gold
in
X and send it back.
We never change the pH in the leach solution at all, John. Never. Once I got
Well, we run it up some. It tends to go down a little bit.
Once I get it into a very narrow range, the range that we keep it in, from 10.5 to about 11.5, that's where we keep it.
Yeah, that's the advantage of using resin or carbon, is you just run it right through unchanged, and then what do you get with carbon? Same thing, no changes at all. With zinc, if you're using cyanide, then you usually would deoxygenate it first for better efficiency. Also, there was a gentleman that sent me some information last week. It's, according to the information, the Eco Gold X works by the dissociation of ferric ferrocyanide, there's a little bit of dissociation there's some cyanide complex and free cyanide in it. It's very small, which is why it's relatively non-toxic.
Oh, Brian says his leach is now down to less than 5 gallons.
And as such, that is what's actually doing it, according to that theory. As I do not know, I'm not the chemist, I haven't done the research myself, but it seemed pretty well thought out and researched. I can't tell, but that seems to be the idea. I still think there's another complex there somewhere. I've just seen too much data that is kind of consistent with there being 2 different gold complexes involved and behaving differently. And I may be utterly wrong, but that's kind of my gut feeling. Precipitation of gold or something else? Have you tried contacting it with zinc or electroplating it yet, Brian? Or are you still just reducing the amount? Mica schists can carry gold to some extent. I haven't heard of any that were really high grade, but I know of a mine in Southern California that was basically a schist. The Ready Relief, just north of San Diego there, it was a gold mine in schist. It was pretty crappy ground. Brown powder, well, gold and finely divided can be a brown powder. Definitely would, if you can get a fairly pure sample of that, it'd be worth smelting. See what you get. Because yeah, it's not unusual to be able to precipitate gold as a brown powder. It just depends on the particle sizes. Real fine, it's purple, purple with caches. But brown is very common.
Well, excellent tribide on a good friend of mine.
So, I'll say that. You can find gold in all kinds of stuff if it's the wall rock. Billy says, hello, Eva. Hey, Billy.
Hi, Billy.
Nice to see you again there. Thanks for the information you sent.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah. The leach is red now. Yeah, well, you're concentrating everything. Clear, yeah. I'd say you're about ready to try the zinc and see what happens. Yeah, the question is, are they gold or are they mica? If it's, is it biotite or muscovite? I think it's biotite. Biotite can be yellow. Can you tell from their behavior how dense they are, is the question. Because I've been fooled by that before, a long time ago. Yeah, it really looked good, but it just didn't behave right. 100% gold. Well, that's good. Excellent. 30 mesh minus, that's shouldn't be too hard to recover unless it's way minus. I've come to the conclusion that in many cases you should be able to recover gold. If it's flat like that, 100 mesh maybe, but if it's round, balled up and stuff, 400 or 500 mesh is not that hard, And the garnets can be a problem though, Chris. If it's hard to separate from the garnets. flat, flat. Not sure what the best way to deal with that would be. I mean, you can always go to wet chemistry to treat concentrates, but you hate to do that if you don't absolutely have to, because it gets kind of complicated. If you can just figure out a way to gravity it to a concentrate that's concentrated enough to easily smelt, I'd go for that. The flakes float on the garnets, huh? That's weird. Interesting physics there, because they're much denser than the garnets, but they're flakes as opposed to garnets are going to tend to be the equivalent of balls.
Brian says, pre-treat it.
I take a little bit and try different things. You know, you don't need to do everything. Just take a cup and try something with it. You know, and then take a cup and do something else. Treat one cup, don't the other. See what the difference is. Test, measure. Yeah, let's say, I don't know. I'd have to see exactly what you got going, Chris, before I'd have any kind of ideas. Brown muscovite, yellow. Muscovite is yellow, huh? Biotite is black or brown. Okay. Okay, Chris. Oh.
I am going to go to the bathroom and then I need to go build up my fire. I will be back.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk to people about important things. Not that y'all aren't important, but we have a bunch of nuts that are doing things on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a revolution.
Well, Tuesday in the Capitol. Those ones that we had today in the Capitol. Where
Our Capitol?
legislators were out there telling the media that a coup is happening.
Our capital in Montana? Or... Okay. DC.
That one.
That's going to be a pretty expensive freight, Chris. I agree with that, Resort Dog. But if one sleeps, sometimes Darwinism will sneak up on you. Oh, it would be hilarious if it wasn't so serious. My goodness, some of the stuff going around is just crazy talk. It's amazing. That sounds pretty good. Okay, Brian. I agree. It's fun, but cost is important. You know, we have a lot of fun, but we still have to worry about the budget. You know, not be concerned. We have to think about it. But we're not really worrying, although for a couple of months it's going to be pretty tight. Yep, we're living in interesting times. So, I say it could be worse, but it could be better too. It is amazing to see how vigorously people hold on to their misconceptions. You know? And in today's world, it's very hard to easily ascertain what the truth is. We've had, major institutions just flat out lie repeatedly. So that makes it a lot more challenging. If you had reliable sources, it would be a lot easier. Me too, Resort Dog. That's all I'm really worried about for this spring, Chris, is just getting through. Summer, I got lots of interesting things lined up. So I'm not terribly worried. Plus, there's been anecdotal reports all over the country that all of a sudden a lot of construction jobs are going unfilled. So it should be easy to get hired if I need to. I'd say the lotto, Kodak, especially as meteorites generally aren't solid gold. But you definitely have a much higher chance of having an airplane land in your yard. Goodness gracious. The situation is very upsetting at times. I think so, Resort Dog. I think the new administration will be much more, call it business friendly. And might be a good time to get your permits lined up in the next 6 months to a couple of years. Give them a little time to get things rearranged and changed around. Get an idea what the gestalt is on that. Then it might be a good time to get your permits so that if things change later, then you've already got your permits. So that would be an opportune time. Geology Upskill had an interesting video this week on how the mining goes in cycles, especially in kind of third world countries and stuff. They start out, the country's poor, so they want mines to come in so they can make money, and then once the mines are making money, then they want to try and skim as much as they can. They get greedy, and so it creates this cyclical effect. And he says the only time the exploration people really make money is at the beginning of one of these cycles. But I thought that was a very interesting video, and it coincides with what I've seen. I don't know, Kodak. It would not shock me.
What would shock you?
Being able to go back to California and get back to dredging. It wouldn't surprise me at all. This whole situation, again, people tend to go from one extreme to another. That's just the way things is. My grammar sucks. Anyhow.
My fallback is the Klamath with now without dams, as seen on TV.
Yeah. Genius. Anyhow, why don't you take over for a little bit, little one, so I can take a short break.
Well, anyway, hi everybody. So, stock up on eggs. I should not have to tell you people this, but apparently half of the freaking world has not noticed that we have an egg issue going on. Okay. Oh, and apparently Costco is tripling down, last I checked, on the whole DEI thing. So, sadly, if they don't change their stance here real soon, I will no longer have, I will no longer have Costco. The gold starts at the brass wire mine directly upstream of where I-5 crossed it. That would not surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. But let's take a look at what gold and silver prices are doing, which has got everybody confused and pissed off in a lot of the world at the moment for some, again, equally bizarre and unaccountable reason. Now, a lot of people were hopeful. A lot of people were hopeful that all the talk of trade wars, tariffs, etc., and the killing of the BRICS gold-backed currency, and the fact that our new Treasury Secretary, is talking about a gold-based currency, that we were going to see metals break out into their huge bull run right now. That ain't going to happen right now. Sorry, hate to tell you that. That's the bad news. Gold is going to break out. Gold is already almost at a genuine breakout point as far as I'm concerned. Where we are right now, gold is at 28, 22 and 30 cents, and yes, you heard me right, $22.30. Okay? Silver is at $31.53. Yes. Silver doing its thing. We may yet see a couple of slight corrections here over the next few weeks as this whole trade war tariff thing starts to shake out. But right now, gold is breaking out. Gold hit a nice new high. You know, I mean, 2,800 is not something to sneeze at, and the goddess did tell you a while back that I was looking at 2,750 as being a new floor for gold. So if we can hold 2,800 and change, then we're going to be doing real well. Silver, I still stand by this, and this is my hill to die on here, that 30 an ounce is the realistic floor for silver now. Anytime you see silver going below 30 at this point, you are seeing some heavy manipulation going on and people taking losses for the team. Okay? It's my personal belief that gold is going to be bouncing around between 2,750 and flirting with 2,950, maybe even flirting with 3,000 here for at least the next 3 or 4 months. Silver is going to be bouncing on the low side. We may see as low as $29, but I think we're going to be bouncing right between 30 and about 32, maybe even 33 for the next several months while things shake out. Because right now, everybody, all eyes are on DC. And that means the whole damn world is watching DC. The international media is melting down. Half of them are openly saying, people like Sky News in Australia and GB over in Britain are openly saying, you know, maybe we need a Trump around here because shit's happening. The other half of them are with our media, who were out today filming all the various politicians that were claiming a coup is happening. Yeah. I love it when our politicians are flat out lying and our media is spreading it 24/7 and upsetting the psychos. It's a great bad idea to upset psychos. But literally the whole world is watching DC right now because shit is going on. Okay? Shit is going on. Trump is going out there and doing things that have everybody clutching their pearls and having panic attacks. And every time it's working. The other day, it does not surprise me it's that high, Canadian wage slave, because the Canadian dollar kind of went down a little bit too. It's coming back up though. We'll get to what's happening with the fiat shit in a minute. The other day, the left thought they had a perfect winning message to go on when Trump declared a multi-front trade war and tariff war against the EU and against Canada and against Mexico and all that shit.
BRICS.
And BRICS. All at the same time. The left said, oh, great. You know, all these prices are going to go through the roof. We're all going to die, etc., etc., you know. He's crashing the economy, etc., etc., etc. Here we are, less than 48 hours later. Hi, Chris. Chris Georgie linked a video that I can't click right now. Chris, can you send me an email to that, please, if you could? Here we are, less than 48 hours later. Canada has capitulated. And boy, did they capitulate well. Mind you, Canadian liquor stores are still virtue signaling, or they were up until Justin Trudeau rolled over and started slobbering and crying. They were making a big show of removing American liquor from their shelves. Never mind, it was already paid for and it wasn't going to get refunded. You know, this was virtue signaling bullshit. But within 48 hours, we haven't heard crap out of the EU, which doesn't surprise me. Russia said, what? We never had any plans whatsoever of an alternate currency. Paris thought, which, of course, they are absolutely still planning an alternate currency, and they damn well should be, okay? They damn well should be. And Mexico is capitulating, not as much as I would have liked. What I am hoping to see is Trump and Marco Rubio, who has turned out to be an amazing surprise, and I'm happy for that. I'm hoping to see them actually say, okay, we made all these deals and we did a handshake over the phone, so to speak, and I made the announcements, and we got 30 days. You bought yourself 30 days grace here. Let's put it all in writing with a nice treaty. Oh, and let's add a few more things on our side of this treaty. I want it in writing because I don't trust any of these yo-yos, okay? This is going to impact the gold and silver prices because, yes, it is upsetting the fiat debt instrument market. As soon as all this started and the reality of that situation hit with people who actually understand money and currency and debt-based currency, the Mexican currency dropped and the Canadian currency dropped in relation to the dollar. The dollar is looking damn strong right now. What's interesting here is before, on those occasions when the dollar was looking strong under Biden, we saw gold and silver moving in opposition to the dollar. This is beginning to set up a pattern now where gold and silver actually are having a nice little bump and they're holding on to it. And I'm thinking they're going to keep holding on to it. We are indeed at the beginning of a good long bullish trend for our precious metals. Platinum and palladium, I'm a little bit leery on here, but we'll keep an eye on those too. What I see going forward is people do not know what Trump is doing. They don't know what's going to happen next, and what's bewildering them even more, especially on the left, Trump is striking out in 19 different directions at once. And instead of his numbers going in the toilet, and instead of the world governments scorning him, etc., etc., his popularity numbers are rising, and the world governments are saying, okay, Mr. President, we'll do what you want. And that's got them a little bit confused. As a matter of fact, it's got them downright worried. If you want to see something interesting, go out and round up some of the videos today from the big protest that they had in front of the USA-ID facility with all the Congress critters telling the media about the coup and how horrible this is and how USAID is the single most important thing for the entire universe. And go look up Chucky Schumer's speech, where he was talking about how, my word, there's a coup going on, and next thing you know, and I know this is just going to devastate all of you, next thing you know, Doge and Trump may actually try to shut down the IRS and the intelligence services. Oh my God, it's bad enough that they're shutting down USAID. that CIA front job and cash cow and slush fund for the entire freaking universe. But Chucky Schumer's worried that we may actually shut down the IRS and the intelligence agencies. This would just be a fate worse than death. Yeah, it was. And yeah, Jamie Raskin was absolutely ridiculous. The whole thing was, yeah, they're all little crackers at the moment. And yeah, Resort Dog, no more taxes is kind of what we're aiming for here. We do have some interesting signaling when it comes to whether we'll get gold-backed currencies. Vladimir Putin was very careful in how he said what he said about alternate currencies. Okay? If you go back and look at it, he was very careful about what he said. They are still going to be working on a gold-backed currency. Bet your butt on that one. As a matter of fact, they'd be stupid if they didn't. And we now also have a Treasury Secretary in Mr. Bessent, who is also has stated that he's looking at a currency that goes back on the gold standard, or at least a fractional gold standard. So, yeah. We are signaling out here. The signaling is happening. This is going to continue. So what we're seeing now, and what we can expect now at the time being, is we should say that gold has a realistic floor now of about $27.50. We can expect it to go between $27.50 and flirting with $3,000. But I'd say staying right in the $28.50 range is a pretty good place to be. And silver has a realistic floor of $30 an ounce, and we can expect it to go flirting with $33 and maybe even $35. We may see $35 sometime in the summer for a fleeting moment, which will get everybody's hopes up, and then they'll get pissed off again. Meanwhile, silver and gold are still on sale, and y'all should be backing up the truck. Yours truly, we are extremely cash poor at the moment, okay? The first thing that yours truly did when we got a hold of a little bit of that debt-based currency with the pictures of dead presidents on it was we went right down to the LCS so that I could get some silver. Because that's what you do. Okay? We all need to do that. And we also all need to buy eggs. Oh, and there's a little side note in case you missed the news on this one. You know how they were talking about mRNA vaccines for animals? In case you missed that, they're planning to roll out a vaccine for bird flu, for chickens, for birds, okay? Well, it turns out they've also rolled out a couple of mRNA vaccines for pork. And they have just gone into general use in the pork industry. You might remember that about 3/4 of our pork industry is owned by foreign actors, shall we say, of the panda persuasion, shall we say. Anyway, yeah, mRNA vaccines have rolled out in the pork industry, and the federal government at the moment is under no obligation whatsoever to identify or in any way track which pork you get that may have been vaxxed with these things and which pork hasn't been. They're not required to label your food. So I would strongly suggest that if you haven't started looking for reputable local suppliers for the types of meat that you like, it would probably be a really good idea to do so, because we really should be supporting our American farmers anyway. We really should be supporting small farming anyway, okay? Hey, Bear, wake up over there. He's snoring over there. I'm getting him back on. I'm getting him back on. But yeah, that is where we are. You need to start looking for reliable, trustworthy local food sources, especially for your pork. Because, get this, I still have, and small miners, I still have not been able to get a definitive answer, yes, no, I don't know, from anybody as to whether cooking the pork to death actually kills this mRNA or is the mRNA or is the shit like prions and stuff. The other problem with it is even if cooking it kills the mRNA, we have no idea what these things may do to the animal before the animal gets slaughtered to go on the breakfast plate. Okay? We don't know what the long-term effects are. All we do know about mRNA at this point is for about 45 years now, they have been trying and failing to get mRNA to work, and then all of a sudden, it worked like crazy.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Really, okay? And resort dog, yes. Spike protein flushes are one thing. That's not the point. We don't know what mRNA does long term. Okay? We don't know what any of these shots do long term. All we know is they tried to get them to work for over 4 decades, and they never worked. And then all of a sudden, one day, they worked. So, yeah. And yeah, resort dog, that's the problem. They're fucking with our chickens. And they're also fucking with our pork. They're fucking with the 2 cheapest protein sources that people rely on. Okay? They're fucking with the chicken meat, they're fucking with the chicken eggs, and they're fucking with the pork. This is not good. And yes, bioweapon is a good word. Anyway, goodbye. Remember, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And that includes eggs. Oh, income tax is voluntary, supposedly. So they say, remember, giving your social security number is voluntary, but if you refuse to give it, in many cases, they're not required to offer you services.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Warren put out a video lately talking about that new file form that she was involved with, where now they're going to roll it out so that the IRS is doing your taxes for you, and they're just going to send you a bill of what you owe. Oh, the other thing?
Oh.
If you refuse to fill out your tax forms, they will take the last information they have on you and take the highest possible number, and that's what you'll owe. Just so you know. It's voluntary, but lots of bad things happen if you don't volunteer.
Yeah.
Very, very funny how that works.
Well, in the military, if you don't volunteer, you're voluntold. You know? So anyhow, let's say interesting times. I really, really hope that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gets confirmed tomorrow. That's a really big...
All your senators.
Yeah, really big thing. Yes, call your senators. Because I think he's going to be like a bulldog on this. Some of the information I heard last week about other studies in other countries
You're welcome, Mr. Virtue.
was pretty dramatic. So I don't think they can keep the lid on much longer. I think that a lot of very powerful people are in very great danger and really don't have much to lose. So that's destabilizing, to put it gently. I don't know, what, Kodak? Well, that sounds like an insurrection to me, you know. But yeah, it's a pretty weird situation right now. I think it was Mark Twain said, "What do you call 1,000 lawyers on the bottom of the ocean? A good start." Yeah, I kind of think that Trump's Gulf of America thing is also just distraction. I don't think he really cares a whole lot. It takes up bandwidth. Politically swayed? I don't think I've been much difference than what I've been focusing on the past. It's just we try and avoid uh, lots of politics, everyone. Hey, Shaggy. I would suggest that if people like to play the markets, shorting Big Pharma right now might not be a bad idea. Uh, I agree, Kodak. I think if we have a diverse group of good people that are working for the same goals, then I think you'll get a better outcome than if you have one group that's highly motivated and working for a good goal, etc. But how many times have you been doing something that you're really pretty good at and someone comes up with an idea and says, have you thought about that? And it's like, no, I didn't, but that's a good question. So it's always good to have people of sincere hearts looking at things with a different pair of eyes.
2,800 for gold. That's just amazing.
I mean,
You know,
it may not help, but it doesn't hurt. Sometimes
do you
it does help.
realize that
What?
means the gold has gone up over $400 just in the last 2 years? We're 2,800 now, dude.
Yeah. Okay. I generally vote Republican, Mr. Virtue, but I vote policy. Okay? It's rare that the non-Republican is likely to promote a policy that I think is better than what the Republican is promoting. Now, we're 2 miles away from the Capitol here in Montana. I'm not a huge fan of Gianforte. He's a Republican, but he's a rhino as far as I'm concerned. Okay? I don't trust insincere people. Robert F. Kennedy, I don't agree with everything he believes in, but I believe he's sincere. Tulsi Gabbard, probably got some disagreements with her too, but she's sincere. She's a patriot. You know, I can work with people like that. You know, if I don't have a better argument, then that's my fault, not their fault. You know, I should have a better argument. Say, I don't care about teams. We need to worry about, what is that they call it? Where you pick a linebacker from one team and a center from another team and put like that. They call it a dream team, so to speak.
Yeah, like fantasy football.
Fantasy football. Yeah, we need like a fantasy politics team. You know, the best at everything that, you know, every specialty. Just get the best person for that you can work with well, and go for it. But yeah, your fantasy politics team. And I mean, Trump is not a hardcore conservative. He's not. He lived in liberal New York City way too long, but he's got a good heart, in my opinion, and he knows how to make things happen. I also think that bullet whizzing through his ear got his attention. We're not playing pickup sticks anymore. This is some serious stuff. What was the bear joke, little one? Did I sleep through that?
I do not know. I was rambling and they were pretending to pay attention to me. I don't read the screen when I'm talking.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, she's pretty good with her words. Oh. Anyhow, it's interesting that this week a lot of people that we usually see we haven't seen. Don't know why. I hope everything's going along well with them. You know. So do we have any subjects to bring up or questions to ask here at this point? why the maxis look higher. Chris says that the Grok AI is totally woke. Is that correct, little one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All AI are totally woke. Remember, they were designed by the left, and every time we start to shift the barometer on them, the left goes right back in and reprograms them.
I agree, Harry. Absolutely. He's annoying, but he's good. How much snow do we get?
And
About 4
Kodak
inches.
is part of the march through the institutions that was started by the cultural Marxists in the mid-1960s. Okay? They called it the march through the institutions for anybody that wants to look it up.
Yep. Now we only got about
It was where they
4
were
inches
going
or so.
to subvert the system from the inside by getting themselves into education, media, and all levels of government and bureaucracy everywhere, at any level. They started it in the 60s and they called it the March Through the Institutions.
Your pencil made you spell that. Anyhow, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting week, and we'll kind of see how it goes. I appreciate some of you people sending me stuff, both science and everything. Sometimes I get some really, really interesting information, and I appreciate it all. I thank you. I don't know. What do you think of this? Why don't we kind of plan on doing a live stream on Sunday night next week then? And that way we can at least touch bases and stuff before we take off. I would agree, wage slave. They've been propagandized so much they don't even realize that they're not in touch with reality.
The southeast corner of Washington State showed they got like 15 inches. I don't know how much we have on the ground right now, but they were preparing us for the end of the world. 6 to 8 inch accumulation here in Helena. I don't know why they think it's anything big, but
Well, I was really laughing a couple weeks ago when my daughter in North Carolina, I told her, yeah, Florida's got more snow this year than we have. 5 p.m. It's 6 p.m. Montana time is our usual time. And so I'd probably default to that unless there's a good reason not to. But I think I would like to touch base with you. There's a lot of smart people out there. I really like your insights, your feedback, your information. I really appreciate the community that we have here. How many people we got?
24.
24. We've done a great job.
We could do it Sunday. I was looking at Tuesday actually, but you're saying
Tuesday is you're going to have surgery.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I said Sunday we can have it. I will let you know, folks, how Eva turned out and everything. Even if it's just something quick where I just edit something like that. I think a lot of it, Kodak, is we're a little drier here because it's got to come over the Cascades to get to us, which kind of wrings out some water. And 6 o'clock Montana time, unless there's a better idea. And then it's still got to come past the Bitterroot Mountains and stuff. So it's got to come over a couple of good-sized mountain ranges before it gets here. It kind of wrings out the water. It's been a really dry year this year. It's the locals here. Thank you, John. Would really like.
No Sunday and time.
Okay.
If we do Sunday, we can do it at 6 or 7.
Yeah, so we'll probably still be on by 7, I would think. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think on Sunday we should probably start later, like 6:30 or 7.
Well, let's just start at 6.
Okay.
Everyone's used to that.
Okay.
We can keep going if needed. I don't see well,
Up there.
oh,
Is
way
that
up
because
there.
of the
Huh?
higher elevation?
Yep. What is it up here? I think it'd be 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Mr. Virtue. Yeah, I say it's unusually mild and unusually dry. Uh, so, I say, it's been pretty pleasant overall compared to what it could have been. Well, if anyone doesn't have any other subjects, then I think what we'll do is next week we'll go ahead and Sunday evening, usual time, we'll do a live stream, and kind of bat around what the heck's happened. I'll try and get a couple more videos out on this mine that I just barely mentioned in the last video, and how I determined that that was an interesting mine, and why we decided to slap some stakes in there for the gentleman that was paying for us to do some research. There you go. Sweet. 4,000 feet, Helena. Yeah, it's a little bit high. I think Butte's like 6,000 or something. They tend to get colder and snowier over there. Well, thank you all for showing up and for all the interaction and helping each other. Appreciate it. So I think we'll call it a night here. And I got to cook dinner yet. So happy prospecting and keep it safe out there. Thank you all.
Night, guys. Happy prospecting and keep it safe out there.